So overhead, then backs away. Jazz is up in danger.
Oh my God! No! Okay.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
How did he do that?
He went past the SA3. He went for the roundhouse. He jumped over completely.
Do you understand? That is a worthless button.
My loyal fans!
Hey, hey.
任務を遂行する。終わりだ。
Today's video is taking a look at a fan favorite and a grappler that was designed to be a main protagonist. He stands out as a grappler where Capcom tried something different from a big fella who's slow. Let's show some love as he's about to get his debut in Street Fighter 6 with a banging theme. Go Alex! But what's up fellas, Panda here, and be sure to like and subs. We're trying to hit 5,000 subscribers to cover Zangief. We're very close. And if you want to support me, be sure to check out the membership system as it means a ton. Of course, I'm here with little Potemkin. How you doing, little guy?
What does a grappler want?
He said it. We say this for those who don't know, grapplers tend to be characters that lack the neutral capabilities of getting in difficult matchups such as fighting a zoner, but they are rewarded with having the strongest mix-up, being able to go between strike and throw dealing a ton and strike dealing just as much, making them one of the scariest characters to deal with where it's a genuine 50-50 for your life. Now that we all know what we know, it's time for the game of today. A classic to be sure. Let's step into the new world of Street Fighter 3. Oh boy, a classic that cements itself as one of the best old school fighters ever. Is this glaze? Yes. Is it deserved? Also yes. This game was super controversial during the testing stages because Street Fighter 3 released with none of the returning characters. They ended up bringing back Ryu, Ken, Chun and Akuma, but this was a pretty big deal as they wanted to step into a new generation, as that's what it was called. Let's talk about the important game mechanics. Street Fighter 3 was a 6-button fighter using 3 buttons for punches and 3 for kicking, going from light to heavy. These could do combos using the linking system that's known for Street Fighter, was known for having very restricted movement. When it came to dashing, you could only do forward and back, and you can only jump, no form of cancelling or whatever. But at the start of the game, you could choose between 3 different supers to put onto your character. It tended to be that 2 of them were gimmicky, but one of them tended to be very solid and totally worth using. They also changed the way the meter functioned, as they either gave you more EXs with more meter build up, or gave you one whole bar for a big super as it was supposed to be. And lastly, the game had the parry system that everyone can't get enough of. By pressing forward on the impact of a hit, you parry it and be given the opportunity to hit back. You can parry lows with down forward, and you can perform red parries from block stun by doing back to forth, and it's super tight. I can't do it, but it's super tight.
Let's go, Justin!
That's everything you need to know. But let's talk about the man of today. The protagonist, grappler, the low tier hero. Go fight! Alex!
Go, arrest! Fighting, 燃える闘志でファイター、このリング抜かけろ。
一度きりの瞬間、切ない
OK 始めようもう今 Go fight 戦う姿を
One of Capcom's coolest grapplers that is a personal favourite of mine. The other grapplers are kinda boring to me unless we're talking about Hugo. Love that German chud, just as much as I love you, buddy.
You're still haunted until my good video comes out.
Today the focus is on Alex though, as he was the one that I played. He's the guy that I like. Of course he's coming in Street Fighter 6, so he's totally worth talking about as he looks awesome. And his theme's a banger for no reason. Why did they get the Dragon Ball guys for this? Genuinely, Super Survivor's a banger. Go Alex is next. Alex was unique as he was a pro tag that was designed to be a grappler. There aren't many stories where the pro tag is the grappler. In fact, that might be the only one, unless there's something I don't know about, which you guys tell me. This is a big deal. As we know, the main pro tag tends to be a Shoto-like playstyle, or at least a rushdown adjacent, you know, like Saul Bad Guy, Kai Kisuke, Ryu, Kyo, and Iori. The real Shoto playstyle of, sliced bread, warm water. But Alex fights with a style of wrestling using power bombs, suplexes, chops, stomps, and multiple headbutts. He was also designed to be easy to pick up, as the only 360 throw he has is one of his supers. Everything else is half circles or charges. He was dead simple, so let's talk about the story. When he was a kid, his parents weren't around, probably killed by something evil, leaving a fella called Tom to raise and teach him. He learned wrestling through him. He enters the third world fighting tournament as his mentor was beaten by the sponsor of the event, Gil, the big bad. Alex kicks the crap out of him, thinks about killing him, doesn't, and leaves. After all this, he faces Ryu, who he can't beat. Ryu just absolutely mollywops him, and he says, "Hone your skills and challenge me again." Alex has been itching to fight him ever since, and I hope he does in Street Fighter 6. Simple story, but that's Street Fighter for you, honestly. Like, these are the same guys where Ryu, what's his story? Inner peace, demon, inner peace, demon, inner peace, demon. But let's talk about how fun he is in this game. One thing you have to remember as we go through this video, Alex was designed as a grappler that anybody could play. It can actually play neutral to a solid degree, unlike most grappler counterparts in the Street Fighter series. We should view Alex as almost like what would happen if a grappler had Shoto-like attacks. He also played into the game's mechanic being stunned, so there'll be more on that later. His movement was pretty good for a big fella. Being able to hop across the screen quickly and back at the same speed made him able to contest well when it came to space. If you really wanted to close the distance, you could use this elbow to approach. It covered good screen space. It also told the player we want to use this as a reminder to the enemy that you can be their lickety split. Again, feeling like you can play neutral well. How did he deal with fireballs? Zangief has spin, Hugo's had clappies, and brother, we got stompies. Alex had the stomp. He would come flying in to do an MKX X-ray to crush the opponent's skull. Pretty great for getting in, and if you EX any of these tools, you just made them way better. Elbow became turbo quick, and it was very hard to parry, and Stomp tracked so you didn't have to pick a strength for the spacing. You did have to watch out for parry though, as these moves became extremely punishable with a well-timed parry. The Stomp especially loses the tap back as it blocks same side and parries the other side. Meaning, he kinda lost to parry on neutral, but this was the nature of the game. Parry was super strong, so Alex had to hone that in and pay attention to his opponent. Movement options were good, but were balanced for the game's mechanics. One thing we have to keep in mind is for Alex, these moves are charged inputs. That means a lot of the time he's crouching. So we need balance the normals around crouching. That's why, you know, Guile's insane with crouch and medium punch, crouch and sweep. How do we design that into a grappler? A lot like a Shoto, his neutral buttons were also solid. Crouch and medium punch was a standout as it covered good space to stuff out approaches. It also had priority, meaning it could hit a fella that was going to hit you at the same time. Amazing from while the opponent tried to walk out of the corner. And crouch and medium kick was Shoto-like, having great reach, being very safe, and it was great for checking shins on walkers to press the advantage. It couldn't cancel anything, which is a problem Alex had to deal with. We'll talk about that a bit more as the combo game comes up. His sweep was great for whip punishes as well. Crouch and heavy punch was an anti-air of all time. If one hit landed, you get a juggle, making this an anti-air peeps would dread fighting again. Of course, can be circumvented with an air parry, but the opponent had to be aware of this. If they pressed that button though, they were getting anti-air. Standing normals were just solid. It had to be, or Alex mains would just be crouching a lot of the time holding charge. They were also designed to be safe, to keep the Shoto-like normal feel. These tools have disjoints like medium punch or far medium kick. Standing heavy punch was a low reward overhead, but extremely safe. Ton of good usages for these standing pokes if you didn't want to just sit still and obviously hold charge. But if I'm honest, the command normals were kinda mid. Lariat was still to be the mad spam tool that we know it as today. The chop was also a very good anti-air and just covered good space. One thing he did have was this hit grab, which was a headbutt that gave you stun. It was good for punishing as it built the stun and gave you reset pressure, but we'll talk a bit more of that later. You can see he could play neutral through pokes. He had a massive issue on every single poke, is that none of them had cancels. This meant it was low reward for these pokes you sent out, and you had to get used to low damage unless certain moves hit. But how did he put on the pressure? You would use close normals like close light punch for a tick throw, and this leads into what made Alex cool, the grappler side. His command grab was a power bomb! The lightest would reach the furthest and give you a knockdown you can work with. The heavier it was, the more damage you got, but the less knockdown pressure you got. If you wanted to do strike, you choose close medium kick for a combo into light chop. I like this as its normals are also designed for grapplers. You've got the show-like normals for playing normal keep away, checking approaches. Now you have grappler normals for setting up tech throws and offensive strike throw pressure. This is amazing design from Capcom. I feel like the normals have really swung out the park for them. But the neat thing is, this led to the big mechanic that Alex played into the most: back turn. The game had back turn as a mechanic, but it was made for Alex. When using medium or heavy chop, you leave the enemy in a back turn state where their back is turned to you. When the enemy has their back turn, you can either combo into command grabs or hit grabs. This turns your power bomb into a backdrop German suplex. This was great for running pressure and building up that damage. However, if you wanted a reset or stun build up, you would choose the headbutt as it turned into a chokehold. This choke would leave you with a turn and a good bit of stun built up. It was awesome because not only did you get a really good combo tool for building up stun or getting the corner or dealing damage, you also got to see more smooth Street Fighter 3 animations. Again, the pixel arts, my goodness, it's fantastic. There was an issue though. You needed to do medium chop, and not a lot of tools allowed for that cancel. This meant your combo game, despite being cool, was extremely limited, so these hype moments would come up not as often as you'd hope. I think medium and heavy chop only comboed after a jumping attack, and that was about it. You had to land them raw. The best way to do this was to punish a stunned opponent. Combos were still scary though. 2 basic combos could build up a ton of stun, so your opponent was cautious of the steamroll. This was enhanced with EX Chop as it gave everything you wanted: a knockdown, damage, and was safe on block even if you were wrong. A great way to stack up damage was going into Super 2. This did a decent bit and also was used as a confirm super. It was good for building up the stun or being an eye-free option or actually just getting the screen space you wanted. That being said, Alex's supers were not good. Either having spacing issues, limited meter, or limited uses, Super 1 and Super 3 were ignored due to how niche or slow or just there's no situations to use them. And they gave you less max meter to do less EX elbows with, and EX elbow and EX chop are by far some of the best special moves you have. So having limited uses on those compared to having more, it's silly. You pick that every time. The matchup chart was really funny for Alex. He would beat other low tiers and Hugo the other grappler, cause his neutral was good. He could take on these characters. Shoto grapplers, I tell ya. There's only one Shoto grappler. He didn't lose to fireball characters. It wasn't something he had to worry about. He had to worry about characters that could out damage him and could use meter better than him. The best example was Chun, as the note says, if she doesn't have meter, rush her down, cause as soon as she gets it, you're in danger. So he wasn't a grappler that lost to the same thing every grappler loses to. He lost to characters that punish better than he did, which is awesome because despite being a low tier, a lot of people would agree, including myself, that Alex was pretty well balanced. The only thing that I would change is maybe buff the combo game and keep every other weakness, because I like all the strengths and weaknesses he has. It seems perfect for the Shoto grappler. Let him play neutral, but have a weaker combo game and has to play really up close for reward. I like that. He does well everywhere else. He just had issues dealing with parry and having the damage. Being said, who made Alex the sick grappler that he was?
雰囲気で終わらすことができるのか、それともミキチュンリーがここで仕事をしたいと。さあレイジ厳しい、頑張れ。さあブーメランレイド。
記憶とともにその
gotta see here, the Alex players were fantastic, man. Especially Genki, hope I'm saying that right. Old-time Alex player from the Japanese scene. Fun to watch, really, really fun. And I really love Alex's design of the Shoto Grappler, being able to play this poke-based game, this avoid fireball game, and play Street Fighter 3 really well while utilizing the Grappler game plan is just very well done from Capcom. It's one of the few times where they've cooked with a Grappler, because a lot of Grapplers are really boring from Capcom. T-Hawk especially, bro. And I kind of wish for more of these types of Grapplers from Capcom, because they really killed it with Alex. I'm looking forward to him arriving in Street Fighter 6, that is for sure, and his theme is an absolute banger. I've been listening to it on loop. But be sure to like and sub, as I'm trying to hit 5,000 subscribers to cover a fun variant of Zangief. We're very close. We're very, very close. Be sure to say hi to Terrapin. If you want to check out the membership system and support me, it's also greatly appreciated. It means a ton. That being said, I hope you guys enjoy the Grappler Church. See ya.